Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is a short message from www.central-mosque.com about Hamza Yusuf and certain opinions that continue to come out from him. I'm not calling him Sheikh Hamza Yusuf because he prefers to be called Hamza Yusuf. There's no disrespect intended there. That's what he intends and tells people to call him. That's fine. Before I talk about him, on this channel, and there are many videos that I've done about Kashmir, about Palestine, about Yemen, and so on and so forth. And I'm under no illusion that I don't make any difference to the lives of these Muslims. All I can do is raise my hands to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make dua for Allah to bring ease to their suffering. I'm not a scholar, I'm not a billionaire, I'm not a politician, I wield no power, I don't back violence. All I do is bring attention to certain topics with my limited capacity. I don't even know how to make jazzy YouTube videos and stuff. I just do simple stuff, what I can, and I make dua to Allah to bring a little bit of change with sincerity. That's all I do. People who are suffering, whether they're in Kashmir, in Palestine, in Syria, in Iraq, wherever the Muslims are suffering people, all they do is they try their best. Okay, that's all they can do, right? They try their best somehow to make a difference. Let me tell you a story. This is Mostar in Bosnia. Mostar is where lots of war crimes and atrocities occurred, and lots of Muslims suffered. Some of the Muslim women jumped from this bridge to save their lives from being raped. This bridge was torn apart, it's been rebuilt now. This masjid right here that you see in the picture, I went to this masjid with a whole bunch of friends about 2 years ago. We toured the masjid. After that, we come out and we wanted to use the toilet. While we were going to the toilet, or the restroom in America, a old Bosnian woman starts screaming and yelling and physically stops me, goes in the toilet. We're all dumbfounded. We don't know what she's trying to do, don't know what is the story. She comes out a few minutes later and she tells me, she goes, go. So I went in there. I used the toilet. My friends used the toilet. €1 at that time to use the toilet. They charge €1. We tried to pay her the money, this old woman. She would not charge us anything. We didn't understand Bosnian. She didn't understand English at all. We just sat there. We tried to give her some more money. She wouldn't accept. In the meantime, so she says, stop, so she told us to stop right there. She runs off again. She gets her son who understands English. So by this time, all the usual tourists are gone, and this is quite late. So it's only us and her. So the tourists are not coming to use the toilet. So then we started conversing to her. I said, what did you do? So she goes, I earn a little bit of money to maintain this toilet, and I charge people €1, and out of this €1, I make a little bit of money. But I saw you guys, I saw your beard, and you realized that you're Muslims, and I did not want you to use the dirty toilet. So I stopped you. I went in there, I cleaned the toilet for all of you, and then I permitted you to use the toilet. And there's no way I'm going to charge you money. I don't care if I lose revenue. There are not that many Muslims in beards who come here. So she says in her words, she goes, Allah. She didn't even know how to say Alhamdulillah properly. So she said, Allah, I will not let you use a dirty toilet. Anyway, so then we started talking to her. So we had fruits and we had cakes and stuff. So we shared. So she said, no, you guys are guests in my country. I should be giving you food. Why should I be eating your food? I said, no. So I told her, I said, look, you're the age of my mother, right? So if my mother was here, and would I eat without you? So you have to join us. So she goes, okay. So she sat down, her son sat down, she ate with us, etc. So we started talking to her as to what happened in Bosnia, all these killings and rapes and murders and stuff. So there's one thing she told us, which I want to tell you before I get to Hamza Yusuf's point. So she said she started crying. So I saw all these killings and rapes and stuff with my own eyes. So we asked her, how can you deal with these people that did this to you? Meaning the Serbians. So she said, you know what? Old woman, her teeth was missing in the front. So she started smiling. And she said, you know what? I know Serbian people. Anybody else comes, I charge them €1. Serbian comes, I charge them €2. That's my revenge at these people. Old woman, frail, fragile, teeth missing. That's how she thinks she's serving the Ummah and taking a revenge of their atrocities by charging them an extra €1. The point I'm trying to make, my brothers and sisters, is desperate people do desperate things. You know, you might think it's silly. Why is an old woman charging €2 to Serbians and not charging us Muslims anything? Okay. So, but I'm just making a point that, you know, when she is an old woman, frail woman, she's just doing her best she can to serve the ummah, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us that kind of understanding. So I can elongate the story. It's a big story, but I just wanted to focus on that. So if you're in Kashmir, if you're in Syria, if you're in Iraq, wherever you happen to be, and you are under an oppressive, atrocious regime, you will try your best. Now, it could be that whatever you're trying is, number one, stupid. It brings more atrocity. It brings more trouble. But you got no choice. You're trying your best. One of the two regions where this happened is Iraq and Syria. Saddam Hussein, I personally know families whose husbands, whose loved ones were picked up by the regime of Saddam Hussein, tortured to death and killed. I have met people who lost limbs. Saddam Hussein and his regime, not personally, but his regime under him, cut people's fingers off and took out people's nails with pliers and tortured, and drill machine drilled holes in people's feet. Okay, these people tried their best. Syria is the same place. I have personally went to Damascus and I have seen how Sunni lived before this whole thing in Syria happened. I'm completely against terrorists and ISIS and crazy people. I'm not talking about that. I have personally seen myself in Damascus how I had to search for a masjid to do Jummah because Sunnis were oppressed. Okay, they were oppressed. Now, this crazy guy who is in charge of Syria right now, he took oppression of his father to a new level, gassed people, tortured people, raped and pillaged villages. So these people, when the revolution started in Syria, before all this ISIS and crazy people got there, they were making a stand against the oppression that's being done to them. Okay, please understand that ISIS and everybody else got there later. First, the Syrian peoples were rebelling against their own government because they were sick of being killed like cattle. So this is all they had the power to do. Just like this woman, the story I told you, the only power she said she had, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give her long life if she's alive, and may Allah give her Jannah if she has passed away. She said the only power I got is I can spot a Serbian, and she goes, I charge her €2. You might think this is stupid, but a desperate woman, that's all she could do. Now, I am not going to make any judgment of what Hamza Yusuf is saying here. I want you to watch this clip, watch his laughing, and watch his giggling, and watch he's saying about oppressed people of Syria and Iraq. Please watch this to the end.
How's that revolution looking for you? Huh? You know what the slogan of the Syrian revolution was? Who knows what the slogan was? Huh? Sha'b Suri ma bandal. The Syrian people will not be humiliated. That was their slogan. They're all shouting it in the streets. Now, all these poor innocent people are begging non-Muslims to let them into their countries. They're fleeing across the ocean in boats. Allah can humiliate whomever He pleases. Man ahana sultan, ahanahu Allah. If you humiliate a ruler, God will humiliate you. That's a hadith in Tirmidhi. If you humiliate a ruler, God will humiliate you. Why? Because the Prophet said, Al-mu'minu la yudhillu nafsahu. The believer does not humiliate himself. Ahmad Zarruq said, when he attacks a ruler and he's not capable of doing it. In other words, they have power, you don't have power. If you attack them, you humiliate yourself. You have humiliated. You can blame the ruler all you want. The guy is a bad guy. I'm no fan of that man. I'm no fan of the rulers there. Saddam, I was no fan of Saddam. But now we see the wisdom of why these people were in those places. Because the Iraqis now, Muhammad al-Mahdi, who tore down that statue, was saying he wants to put the statue back up. Right? Zainab al-Kanzi, a Kurdish Iraqi, said, now I see the wisdom that God had in having that horrible man as our ruler. Because you take him away and you look what, because we're not ready. We're not ready. We don't have civil society. We can't even wait in line for buses. And this is not because Muslims are inferior to non-Muslims. It's not. It's just circumstances. We've been moribund for a long time. We've lost a lot of wisdoms that we had. We have terrible treatment of our women. We don't raise our children properly. We have horrible school systems. We have widespread corruption. These are all the realities of the Muslim world. What did the Prophet say? وَلَكِنُّكُمْ غُثَاءٌ كَغُثَاءِ السَّيْلِ. You're fluff. That's how he described us. So how do we change that situation? It's all there. But no, this is just quietism. This is what the Sufis say. Just worry about yourself. Don't worry about anybody else. What does Allah say? Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu qu anfusakum wa ahlikum naran. Save yourselves. Because you can't save anybody else if you haven't saved yourself.